Hey guys, this is Hero, and today I'm back with another important video, okay? And that is how to fix your relationship or marriage from a spiritual perspective, okay? Or disclaimer, my own spiritual perspective, okay? So if you don't agree with anything I say, it's kind of up to you on how highly to value it. I'm just gonna speak how I think, and it's up to you or not whether to take it seriously or not. Okay, so now, if you haven't watched my Kundalini and Chakras video, I'm going to be talking about that a lot in this video, okay? So you guys can watch that if you guys feel a little bit lost. But long story short, if you are having problems in your relationship, either you or your partner is living in their lower self or conducting the relationship with energies of the lower self versus your higher self, okay? That's the short answer to this video. Yeah, but now I'll dive deeper into what all that means, okay? So in the title somewhere, I probably have written like this has 80% chance of working, right? Now, why did I say that? So this has 80% chance of working. Why? Because if you do what I tell you in this video, that's great. But if your partner doesn't and they're still doing that other stuff, there's nothing you can do. Okay, it's just karma. Your karma might be up, or it's just your karma to deal with those problems. Yeah. So, but most likely, if you're somewhat spiritually inclined, most likely you're as a married couple or a relationship strong, you guys are most likely have energies intertwined, and just due to the law of attraction and other things, most likely they will take an effort to advance the relationship spiritually as well. Okay, there's a reason why marriage is so big in the world of spirituality. Okay, it's because you learn so much from your partner and advance so much spiritually, right? But if you don't look at it in that aspect, eventually at one point or another, it's probably going to be doomed. Okay. Now you might be wondering, well, I know some people who are not spiritual and they have the most successful relationships possible, blah, blah, blah. It's because subconsciously or without them just being aware of it, they're operating the relationship, in energies of their higher self. They just don't know they're doing it. Okay. But, and it just is what it is. But you, or someone you know might be having problems, and I'm going to tell you why you're having these problems, okay? So the first 5 chakras, the lower 3 are in your lower self, and the next 2 are considered in your upper self, okay? So the lower 3, earth, water, fire, okay? That means you are somehow conducting the relationship in terms of either earth, which is physical, water, which is the emotional, or fire, which is just like the ego, in general, like from the external, right? Like societal validation and stuff like that. So that means basically you're focusing too much on the physical in the relationship, the emotional in the relationship, or the mental in the relationship. Okay. But if you're living in your higher self, air or earth, that means that you're either, if it's more air, that 4th chakra, you're somewhat acknowledging that there's karmas related to that person, and that, you're kind of learning a little bit from them spiritually and advancing. And then space is more like you're completely put behind all that other stuff, the material, superficial stuff, and you're fully immersed in the fact of that this person is a spiritual gift to you this life, and that you can use this relationship and this person to really learn a lot about yourself and the evolution of the soul in general in this life. Okay, that's what those 2 represent, and I'm kind of going to go in more detail about all this right now, right? But now the lower self, because most of you probably need a little bit of help getting out of there when it comes to your relationships, right? So one thing I have to point out, and there might be some disagreements here within what you think and what I think, but this is just my opinion, okay? There's a different ways or different thought process a man and a woman has to have in order to evolve from a relationship standpoint out of their lower self and into their higher self, okay? And I'll explain to you why. If there is one man and 1,000 women stuck on an island, what's going to happen? Well, there's going to be 1,000 babies being born, okay? Because the man is most likely going to have relations with everybody on that island. If there's one woman and 1,000 men on that island, there's only going to be one baby being born, and there's only going to be one man that's going to eventually, most likely, have relations with that woman. Okay, now why am I saying this? At a primal level, we all have, you could say, desires. Okay, like lower level desires of what we want in a relationship. Okay, so using that analogy I just said, I'm going to explain to you at the primal, most physical level, because I'm covering now the bottom one, the earth chakra, right? What we desire at the most primal level physically in a partner, okay? Or even the other, because all the chakras are kind of intertwined, but I'm kind of starting at the physical. A man, mostly, he would just want to basically spread his seed, okay? For the most part, at a primal level, okay? You could say typically. So that's that. Now, a woman is she has more the mindset of, okay, how can I get better than what I have right now, right? Now, this is ego games, okay, that our ego plays on us, both man and woman, just naturally in this human birth, right? Now, you could realize that both of these things, they're both very different, but they both have one thing in common, okay? They are never going to be fully satisfied ever, okay? There's always, for a man, let's just say, he's had numerous affairs and all this kind of stuff. There's always going to be someone that he can't get, or someone that he, hasn't formed a relationship with, or something like that, right? And same thing with the woman. No matter how successful, good looking, tall, strong, whatever her, partner may be, there's always going to be someone that's just a little bit better. Okay. That's just a fact of life. Okay. So one way that, now it's up to you. I'm going to discuss all the problems with the chakras. Okay. And how they could be applying to you. It's up to you to determine which one it's applies to you, and do the work and fix it yourself. Okay, rather than trying to look for some superficial shortcut, like, for example, finding someone else or finding someone better. Okay, so in this situation, if you're a man, or if your partner's a man, let's just say, when I say if you're a man, I'm also saying, if your partner is also having problems and they might be a man. Okay, if you're a man, you just basically have to accept the fact that I have what I have, which is my one partner, and that is okay. At that chakra level, at that lower chakra level, okay? And if you're a woman, you also have to accept that okay, it's okay if, I'm never going to, advance, like, constantly keep upgrading my, get a better man or whatever. I have what I have, and I'm completely okay with that. And similar with a man, okay? A man, it's a little bit different, because a man, like, they're still satisfied with, you could still be satisfied with what you have, but you could still be satisfied with what you have, but still, end up looking everywhere else, okay? And if you guys get what I mean. So what you would have to do there is basically just accept the fact that it's okay to only just deal with one person, okay? That if I try to search everywhere else, it's just a bottomless cup I'm trying to fulfill, okay? So that's that. Now, that was more the most physical level of what we have to acknowledge. Now, we don't like to acknowledge this, right? Because we've been trained in society that, not to think about that kind of stuff, but these are very, very, very important deep root causes that can cause serious problems subconsciously in your relationships, okay? And if you don't address them, or your other person doesn't address them, this thing is doomed, okay? Because if they're living in that lower chakra, dude, there's no way, okay? This thing is gonna survive, okay? So, like I said, the man of the relationship has to just be okay with dealing with what he has, and okay with not, spreading his, you could say, spreading his seed to other people. And a woman has to be okay with what she has and not looking for an upgrade, you can say, okay? Now, like I said, this is just my own opinion. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen, okay? Or you don't have to take it seriously. Now, so that was the physical. Now the emotional, okay? All of these also are reasons why I would strongly suggest do not watch any romantic movies or any romantic TV shows, because they hype up the energies of these chakras to the max, okay? Because everyone has the perfect partners physically, emotionally, and kind of mentally, okay? So the more you feed into those energies, the more you're going to have problems in your own life, okay? Now, the water chakra, the next one, as far as emotionally and mentally, okay? We are all going to have emotional needs that are not going to be met, okay? It is not your partner's duty to read your, to be psychic and constantly fulfill every single void you have inside of you. And anytime something doesn't go your way and they don't feel that, you just put the blame on them. Okay, that is not what your partner is for. So I'll give you an example, right? Let's just say, so we all enjoy emotional comfort, right? So this could be like, for example, like a man, like, you just appreciate, let's just say coming home and the house is clean, dinner's cooked, stuff like that. Okay, it's very emotionally comforting. Okay, same thing with women. There's some stuff that emotionally gets comforting, for, like, let's just say nice clothes, nice jewelry. You could say that's mental as well, but mental is more like actually wearing the clothes and jewelry, not necessarily like receiving them, or like receiving flowers, stuff of appreciation, right? Just stuff that gets you emotionally happy. Okay, these things are all, fine in moderation, but you have to understand that if not what am I trying to say? If not, if you're not careful, you can kind of use that emotional fulfillment you get from a partner kind of as a drug, like alcohol or anything like that, okay? Because what happens when you take a drug? You're looking for that feeling, right? So the same thing with emotions. The same thing with emotions here when it comes to emotional fulfillment from a partner, okay? Like, you cannot just rely on that as like a drug. Now, it's a very big gift and big pleasure that you get, but relying on that constantly just to avoid feeling negative feelings, quote unquote, negative feelings, is not something that I would, it's something that I'd be very aware of. Right now, like I said, the chakras are all connected, right? So emotions, right? I use water as emotions, and earth as physical. So I represented, like the physical as far as, like looks and stuff like that, and emotions as far as emotional fulfillment from what your partner does. But now there's things you do that kind of overlap. For example, like receiving jewelry for a woman or something like that. It could ignite the emotional because it's emotional fulfilling, and it can ignite the fire chakra, which is, the mental, as I said. So the mental has a lot to do with kind of like your own mental fulfillment. Okay, like, wow, I have someone that like I can show off. Okay, so the earth is like more the primal need that you just need. You just need something better, something more for a man, and something better for a woman, you could say. Okay, the emotional is kind of more like I just described, emotional feeling. The mental is more like just a little stuff that we do that that we get really, really big rushes of validation from when we do stuff. You could think about it like this, right? Anything that is outside of your house that you do is more the fire chakra. Anything that's inside your home is the water chakra, and anything that's kind of inside your bedroom, you can say, is the earth chakra. Okay, you can kind of put it like that. Okay, now, so depending on where the problems are in your relationship, you can listen to this and kind of get a gist on what you should change and how you should address it. Now, I kind of talked about how to address the earth chakra, right? Just understand, you have to just genuinely just be okay with what you have, okay? Same thing with the water chakra. You have to just genuinely be okay with the emotional fulfillment that you get, okay? And as far as the fire chakra, you have to just genuinely be okay with the validation you get from others based off of, your own relationship situation that you're in, okay? For example, like fire chakra could be like, you let's just say your partner doesn't drive like the nicest car or something like that, okay? If your partner drove like a very nice sports car, that could ignite your fire chakra immensely, because if you two, are in a coupe or something like that, nice slick sports car, it's gonna ignite it's gonna validate your ego very, very highly, okay? But regardless of whatever you have to just be okay with it, okay? I would encourage you, because even if you quote unquote like leave and get better, there's always gonna be someone that has better. And if you're living in that lower chakra energy, you're gonna start manifesting stuff in this area, and there's, like I said, there's always gonna be problems. Okay. Now, there's some stuff that is tied to multiple, like I said, the jewelry, or for example, let's just say like sex or something like that, right? You could say it's tied to all three. Now you'd be like wondering like how is that possible? Well, I already explained how it touches the earth, right? The physical, emotional. Okay, sex can be very emotionally fulfilling as well as physically fulfilling. Okay, and the fire chakra, it can be very mentally fulfilling. It can be very mentally validating, knowing that someone else, like, chose to, like, share that experience with you. Okay, this runs really deep, this stuff. Okay, and that's why, like I said, I'd strongly recommend turn any sort of media you have that you're watching that involves the dynamic of a man and woman. I'd completely reduce your time watching that, or really try to limit your exposure to that, because a lot of that stuff is not how the real world operates. Okay, and if you're expecting, same thing with social media, right? You see all this, like, this stuff, gossiping. Okay, these are all like, they're activating those energies way more. And the world today, it's already hard enough to have the drive to stay in a relationship and stuff like that as much as it is. Okay, so you don't need any more obstacles in your way. Okay, so I'd strongly recommend turn all that stuff off. Just live in the moment and just learn to advance yourself, because as you advance yourself, your relationship, you'll see, will also advance, and you'll learn and grow a lot more spiritually. Okay, and like I said, this thing, it has about an 80% chance of working. If your partner is not on board, there's nothing we can do. Okay, it's just part of your karma. But like I said, if you're most likely have some kind of spiritual intuition, most likely it's there inside of that other person. But like I said, don't count on that. Okay, don't try to hope they change or anything like this. Just accept what you have, and when their time has come, if their time comes, their time comes. Okay. Oh, one more thing I wanted to explain. So the top two chakras, the air and the space. So what you want to do is you want to just basically avoid feeding the energies of the lower chakras, like, what they could provide you physically, emotionally, mentally, from an all ego level, strong ego level. Avoid diving into that. Avoid watching any movies or any media that's going to encourage you diving down those energies, and dive more down the other energies of the air and space chakras, right? Which is more like, okay, acknowledging that you probably have some karmas to fulfill with this person. Okay, relationship is always usually strong karmas involved. Okay, acknowledging that, whatever quote unquote flaws they have, you could accept that person for who they are, right? Because when you accept others, you're subconsciously accepting yourself. When you're judging others, you're judging yourself. For example, when you are saying someone else is not that good looking, you're actually subconsciously insecure about how good looking you are. Okay, same thing with if you're kind of if you don't like how someone's kind of expressing their emotions, that's actually subconscious of you being insecure about how you express your emotions. Okay, so there's a lot we can learn here. Okay, and I'd encourage you to, instead of just running away, most likely if you're watching my video, you're not trying to do that anyways, so that's good. But just stay and try to learn from it. And like I said, if you have any questions or comments, you can always let me know in the comment section or email, and most likely I'll be glad to help. And then so don't run away if you can. Obviously, there's extreme situations, okay? I completely understand that. But you could learn from the other person, and then when you accept them, you accept yourself, because in a relationship, you're so close, right? So you're forced to just deal with them who they are. You cannot control them, okay? No matter how hard you try. So you accept them, you accept yourself, you accept everyone else. You notice your life just improves greatly, okay? One other thing is that I just want to tie in, just because a lot of you guys probably watch my channel for astrology videos, is that you might notice that in astrology, because I get a lot of emails about this too, you'd go through a certain period and you start having marital problems, okay? Those and you thinking, oh, Rahu caused my marriage problems, Saturn caused my marriage problems, Ketu caused my marriage problems, Rahu caused my marriage problems, even Sun caused my marriage problems, even Venus caused my marriage problems, Jupiter caused my marriage problems, whatever caused your marriage problems, right? That those did not cause your marriage problems, okay? They just kind of enlightened you about problems that were already there, okay? So for example, Rahu, it's basically just exposing in a very harsh way the fact that your relationship is formed off of very, very, very bad spiritual grounding. And it's up to you to improve that grounding, or it's going to force you to walk away, right? And you could be like, oh my God, that's so horrible. But like, it's just is what it is. Like it's trying to get you to grow in that way. And that's honestly a great thing, but it's all about how you interpret it. Okay, mindset is very big in spirituality and astrology. Okay, you'll see if you like ask me a question or something. I'm most likely not going to give you a straight answer. I'm most likely going to tell you, different kind of mindsets you have and different outcomes that can happen based off of those mindsets. Okay, nothing is like your mindset has a big influence on how things will end up for you. Okay, and like I said, a big reason of why we took this birth is to grow and advance spiritually. So improving your spiritual mindset and connecting more with your higher consciousness, and increasing your vibration to move beyond this illusionary world and this human birth is one of the great reasons of why we're here. Okay, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Might make some other videos later on discussing other things related to this topic, but as a start, this is good enough. It's at 22 minutes. So if you have any questions or comments, as usual, let me know in the comment section or through email, and talk to you guys later next time. Thank you.